What is up, everybody, and welcome into episode 11 of Weathering the Storm, an Orlando Storm podcast. Today, I want to go over the previous Spring League team for the Orlando area, the Orlando Guardians. And who better to do that with than Max Holbrook, the writer for Pro Football Newsroom for the Orlando Storm, and the account holder of UFL Storm Center on Instagram, formerly Guardian Center. Um, Glad to have you on, Max. How you doing?
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I'm doing great. Can't can ask for better football. It's coming soon. Love it.
Awesome, awesome. So to prelude the rest of the discussion, I'm just going to start by kind of going into the background of the Orlando Guardians, the team that preceded the Orlando Storm, just for those that are not familiar with the team. And then we can go ahead and get into the rest of that. So, to start off, the team debuted as the New York Guardians back in 2020 as one of the 8 teams in the XFL. The XFL suspended operations later in April of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They resumed operations in August of that same year after being bought out by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Danny Garcia, and Redbird Capital for about $15 million. The XFL then spent from 2020 to 2022 rebranding, restructuring the league, which included relocating the New York Guardians to Orlando. So, my first question for you, Max, since you have history covering the Orlando Guardians from beginning to end,
Mhm.
what was your initial reaction to the New York Guardians relocating to Orlando?
Well, at first, I was still excited that we had football in Florida, and it was even closer to where I was located, Orlando. I don't can't remember the last time we had like a pro football team here, probably a couple 20, 10 plus years. So I was excited. I mean, Tampa Bay, I think even though the team wasn't good, they're still had a great crowd the first week. I think we were 0-2 going into our home opener, playing the best team in the league. And we still had like 19,000 people. So I was looking up for the league, honestly. And, I was just glad to have football back. I liked the logo. Wasn't a fan of the colors, but, I was just happy to have football in Florida still.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And the colors really remind me a lot of the Louisville Kings now. Every time
I just had
I,
that thought the other day. Yeah.
yeah, every time I see those jerseys, I'm thinking, no offense, but I'm like, the Orlando Guardians. But hey, hopefully they do better than our Guardians did back then.
Yeah.
But just to continue on, the Guardians rebranded from New York. They had the black and the red, and they rebranded
Mhm.
to that Greon, neon green, and the gray.
Yeah.
But they did keep the name and a slightly altered logo. They played in Camping World Stadium, which is significant considering the stadium we play in now has about half of that capacity. Camping World has about 65,000 seating capacity. Um, and then they named Terrell Buckley as the head coach. He was previously a cornerback for FSU from 1989 to 1991, and he played 14 seasons in the NFL. So my next question for you would be, how did you feel about the rebranding, the stadium choice, um, and the coaching decision?
So I like the logo at first. I think the logo was, I would say, probably one of the best in the XFL in 2023. I love the logo. Like I said, I wasn't that big a fan of the colors because it's two greens. Two greens is very hard to do. And when we saw the jerseys, I tried to like, oh, we have good jerseys. We probably had the worst jerseys in the XFL, but I mean, it's very hard to work with those colors. My first thought about Camping World, it was funny is because right before like everything got announced, I made a post debating which one I wanted, either Inter and Co. Stadium, which Storm play at now, or the Camping
Yeah,
World. I was like, I don't want Camping World, too big for, we're not gonna have close to 65K. So I was like, Inter and Co. is cleaner, more modern, looks great. Like I've been in that stadium maybe two times and it's just beautiful. Like It's great. And obviously Camping World Stadium's a little more like mainstream. You have a lot of bigger events going there. So I was bummed, but it's like, what can you do? What can you do? So um the coaching hire, I wasn't that familiar with Terrell Buckley. I did some research and he was a Mississippi State coach. I think he was probably a cornerbacks coach, I'd assume. And I didn't know much, but like I said, I wasn't going to complain, because at that time the league went with the approach of like Hines Ward, Anthony Beggs. Who else do they have? Rod Woodson. Not a lot of those coaches had playing or coaching experience. And I know Buckley did, so I still had some optimism at first. So
Yeah. So would Terrell Buckley be comparable to maybe like a Ted Ginn Jr. in this season, or is that stretching it too far?
I think Terrell Buckley's probably a better like choice at quarter. Like knowing what we know now, I'd go with Ted Ginn Jr. But I mean, because I think he would be probably comparable to. It's hard because so many coaches either have a lot of experience coaching or just none. He's like right in the middle, so
Oh, okay.
it's tough. But I would Ginn's fine.
Maybe like Anthony Becht when he first started with the
Yeah,
Battlehawks,
yeah.
because he
That's
didn't. Yeah,
yeah.
he
I
only
think
had tight
back
end
to
coach experience.
yeah. That's a good when Beck started first coaching. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Um, and it's funny you mentioned. I noticed you mentioned Intern Co. You mentioned Camping World, but you didn't
Hmm.
mention another stadium that's in Orlando, and I have some problems with that. You know what I'm referring to?
I feel like I
The
should
bounce
know.
house, man. Come on.
Yeah, bounce
Oh
house.
my
You're
goodness. The Apollos.
yeah.
Nah.
I mean, bounce house is good. How much does it hold? Like 40,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, it's like right in between.
40.
So it might be a little too
Yeah.
much.
So yeah. I mean, I just I don't know how the Apollos got it there, but I mean, I forgot
Yeah,
about the bounce house. I forgot that was an
yeah,
option for some reason.
yeah. It's probably I haven't been to Inter&Co, but just from what I've seen,
Mm,
it's probably not as nice and as modern as
yeah.
Inter&Co.
Hmm.
Um, it's definitely a more like simplistic type of thing. It's more of a
Yeah.
old
It's
school, I
not
guess.
supposed to,
Just the
it's college.
Yeah,
This.
exactly. But if they could pack it out decently well, like it is a really nice environment in like a hard to
Yeah.
explain way, just not flashy, but um
Yeah.
regardless, they did go with Camping World Stadium, and that kind of leads me into my next topic point here, where if any of the viewers don't know, they were involved in quite of a controversy with at least one game that I saw. Maybe it expanded multiple. I'll have you like comment on that.
Hmm.
But basically, from my understanding, they moved everyone in the stadium into like a select amount of sections because, like you
Yeah.
said, it was way too much of a capacity to possibly hold the amount of people that were there.
Yeah.
So they moved everyone into a couple sections, which was out of the shade and directly underneath the hot Florida sun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
apparently it was done to make the TV broadcast look more appealing so that when the cameras were going over the crowd,
Mhm.
it looked like a packed
Yeah.
house, but they just conveniently left out all the completely empty sections on the other side. So you
Yeah.
told me you were there in person. What happened from your perspective and just how bad was that?
So I was there for, I believe, 3 games. I went to home opener, I went to night game, and then I went to day game. So the first game I went to was the home opener, and I luckily I was first for pregame warmups. I was down in the fan section, and then I was in the press box for the first. So that was my first time ever being in a press box. So I was like, I didn't even know I was allowed to go into there until someone sent me a picture of my name tag in there. So so I didn't want that. So that was fine, but it was hot that day. From being in pregame warmups, I was sweating. I think everyone was sweating. It was bad. And then the first day game I went to, it was really, really bad because not only was there not enough people to make it look like a packed house, but it like there was legit. I think near the end of the season we gained like 9,000 people. And it still looked really bad on TV, but it was so hot. You had no AC, and we were on the other team sideline, so couldn't you could we didn't have much interactions during the season with the players. Like all we got is trash talking the other team, which isn't a bad thing, but XFL was known as like League of Access opportunity. You couldn't even talk to the players if you wanted to celebrate with them. So it was a rough environment as someone who wanted to like the team to succeed. It was very tough to watch.
Yeah, and especially like you said, the best part of it is that you get to talk trash to the other team.
Yeah.
It is kind of hard to talk trash to the other team when the Guardians finish dead last in the XFL, obviously missed
Yeah.
the playoffs
Yeah.
and finished with a 1-9 record. Um, After that 2023 season, the XFL and USFL merged into the UFL, which left the Orlando Guardians behind. I don't think anyone can really blame them as much as that sucks. But considering everything
Yeah.
that happened, um, it does kind of seem like a bit of a no-brainer decision. Um,
Mm.
but again, well, I guess I'll go ahead and ask you, what do you think really went wrong other than the stadium situation? What really went wrong with the Guardians? What did the team struggle with? Do you think it was like a coaching issue? Was it a personnel
Mm.
like player issue, or just general mismanagement from the league in general?
Probably a combination of both would be like I would say when we first did drafts, like the draft, XFL draft, you compare our team to like we had a really, really bad draft. And like I remember like looking up players when it happened. I'm like, these guys don't have any pro experience. We drafted a lot of Mississippi State guys, which was a bad thing, SEC, but the team wasn't good at first. We had like I think everyone said we were like dead last in power rankings from just the roster in general, so that was hard. Our coaching, as we know, Terrell Buckley led us to a 1-9 record. I think he needed a little more experience before getting that head coaching job. So obviously not all on him, but I just don't think he was a good fit for our team. And I know our team really struggled at first with offense. We couldn't get any points. So I think he either stepped down or we fired him, but our offensive coordinator got he we got Shane Matthews, who was quarterback of the Florida Gators a couple like 30, 20 years ago or whatever. And our offense looked pretty decent when he took over. So I would say it's a combination of coaching, the scheme wasn't great. We didn't have really an identity. Like offense wasn't great, defense wasn't really that great, no pass rush. We also didn't have that much marketing. Like like we didn't have that much people show up. I mean, 11,000 for a home opener isn't terrible. That's pretty good. It's decent, nothing crazy. But we didn't have any marketing. It's just hard to support a team that constantly gets blown out or just loses every week in heartbreakers. So it's hard. And no notable players either. We didn't think I'm trying to think of who our most notable player was. I think it was Francois, and he was on the bench. So we didn't have like, if you go to Orlando Storm game, oh, I know Dorian Thompson Robinson, I know KJ Hamler, I know Lamar Jackson. Like, so
It's- yeah, yeah, that might not be the Lamar Jackson they're thinking of, but hey, maybe
yeah,
maybe you just leave the image out. You like cover him up with the helmet. You just I don't know, make
yeah,
sure he gets the number 8.
L Jackson
Yeah,
on the
exactly,
back.
exactly. That that is a good strategy. We'll see if it works out after after they watch
Yeah.
5 minutes of the first game. But um, so that brings us to the Orlando Storm, which on October
Mhm.
7th, 2025, the UFL announced three new teams: the Louisville Kings, the Columbus Aviators, and of course, the Orlando Storm. So I'll ask you the same kind of question I asked you earlier.
Mhm.
What was your initial reaction to the announcement of the Orlando Storm, Orlando getting another shot at a spring football
Mhm.
team?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't shocked that they came back to
Yeah.
Orlando. If I was a businessman, I would probably stay. Like, I probably wouldn't have come back, but it does help that Rapoli lives in Orlando. He has a house here, which I think is why he brought it back. I think Danny Garcia is still affiliated with the league. So she also has lives here in Orlando. So you have two strong like ties to Orlando. So they gave him another shot. I was shocked at first, but insanely happy because I didn't follow when the Guardians left. I didn't follow the UFL. I just like it was just hard for me to watch it. Not because they did anything wrong. I just didn't watch it because I was pretty upset that they took my team away. So very happy. I think the logo is also awesome. The colors are awesome. The purple and orange are great Clemson colors. So I was extremely happy.
Yeah, no, I get that completely. And I kind of feel the same way. Like if the worst case happens, knock on wood, it never does, but the
Mm,
Orlando Storm follow a similar fate as the Guardians, I
mm,
can't see myself jumping to another team. Like this is
yeah,
my team, and if they
yeah,
die, then my coverage of this league will most likely die with it, just because I
mm,
do like the Orlando area a lot.
mm,
And I like this team a lot, and I'm going to grow attached to it. And it's not. I
yeah,
just can't see myself shifting to a different market, a different team.
mm,
I don't know. I just can't see it. But yeah, it was surprising for me too. When I heard the rumors of it, and again, this is me, just an extremely casual fan of the UFL. I mean, I
yeah,
kind of watch the Battlehawks more than anything because I like their
yeah,
jerseys,
yeah,
but really didn't know anything about it.
mm,
But obviously, I love UCF and I love the Orlando area. So I was
yeah,
really, really hoping that they would choose Orlando. And
yeah,
and I've seen just how vibrant and energetic the area gets when
mm,
UCF is on a roll and they're
yeah,
actually, and it's been a
yeah,
while, but
yeah,
when they're actually playing good, the area does rally around them. And they do
for
come out and
sure.
support the team. So it's not like I don't want to take shots at specific areas that might also be in the market right now in the UFL, but
Mm,
there are certain cities, even when their college team is doing good and they're, really succeeding,
yeah,
they don't pack out the stadium. They don't
mm,
support the team. Um, the Orlando area, I don't see that happening. If the Orlando Storm gets on a roll and they're 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, or even a little bit less than that, I do think
yeah,
that Orlando can show up for their team and support it. Right now, I think if you look across like the social media followings of the Columbus Aviators compared to the Louisville
yeah,
Kings and compared to the Orlando Storm, we're by far the least popular of the three.
yeah,
And that
mm,
that is a little disappointing, but at the
mm,
same time, that will quickly change if we start winning games. I
yeah,
have
for
no
sure.
doubt about that. So I think the fact that we've had so many spring league teams before and they fell flat on their
Mm,
face,
yeah,
um, that's made people a little cautious. And the
mm,
fact that kind of like Texas, we have a plethora of pro teams to choose from.
yeah, mm,
So I'm not talking down on the Orlando fan base, but we're a little bit
yeah,
spoiled with pro
yeah,
team. So take like Kentucky and the Louisville Kings. They don't have a pro football
yeah,
team.
no,
So of course they're super
yeah,
excited. They are
mm,
ecstatic that they have a pro football team.
yeah,
For us, we're gonna have to win some games and get some success, and that
yeah,
excitement will come.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go into some key differences between the approach of the Orlando Storm and the Orlando Guardians. So some of those include the originality. So as I mentioned
Mm,
before, the Guardians were kind of just a team that was in a different area and
yeah,
located to a different one and wasn't its own unique identity.
mm,
They changed a little bit, but really it's just kind of another team changes little details and whatever. So it wasn't as original. Um,
yeah,
and then the stadium, we've mentioned that already. Inter & Co has a capacity of about 25,500 seats. And if you
mm,
look at the ticket sales for the home opener, it's already like really close to selling out. Um,
yeah,
versus the 65,000 at Camping World, uh, really hard to sell it out. I mean, even
yeah,
even for like UCF, it's not the most blue blood fan base like the Florida Gators or
yeah,
Alabama. but they would struggle to sell out 65,000 seats.
Yeah.
Like it's still a pretty strong fan base, but 65,
Yeah.
that's just a lot for a brand new league, a brand new team. Um,
Was never gonna happen.
yeah, it's tough. And it obviously it's hard to get a good environment when, two rows, maybe two rows are empty behind you but
Yeah.
you have 25,000 people in that stadium and it looks half empty. You have 25,000 people in this new stadium, it looks like a packed out, sold out crowd.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so that'll definitely make a difference. And then the ownership. Obviously, Mike Rapoli is now heavily involved with the three new teams. So I guess I'll go ahead and ask you first off, how do you feel about the job Rapoli has done thus far? The key changes. I guess I'll just go ahead and ask you. We'll start with each kind of little change that he's
Mm.
made. First, I guess just the three new teams in general. You've already kind of talked about the Orlando Storm. So how did you feel about the other two teams, the Columbus Aviators and the Louisville Kings?
I really like the idea to bring both markets, Louisville and Aviators or Columbus, pro teams. I think, their fan base, you could kind of tell from the start with, like you said, the social media following. They had a crazy like amount of followers right away, and you had like people stepping up right away, like, oh, I'm a Columbus fan, and like they are definitely Columbus definitely has the most football crazy fans, I'd say, out of the three of us. Um, for sure. So I like that they brought them there. Louisville, um, I don't really know much, but I did like the decision to bring that there. I think it was a good idea. And they also have like a stadium that's like I'm pretty sure their max is 12 to 14,000 people. So that's gonna sell out probably every game or so, and it's gonna look amazing. So I hope Columbus and Orlando can get there. They're both really good brands to bring football to.
So with Louisville at 14,000 seats, you said like I see
Yeah.
I see no problem with them selling that out.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I'm from the Kentucky area,
Hmm.
and they really don't have like any pro teams at all
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
Not NBA, not NFL,
Yeah.
anything. So the fact that they have this, I think, and again, I'm not like too in touch with the fans there, but
Hmm.
from what I've seen, from I think UFL Kings Corner, I think that's the podcast they have, like,
Yeah.
and the fan event that they just had, everything I've seen has been super positive. Like they seem really excited
Yeah.
about that.
Hmm.
So I honestly have a lot of hope for that fan base and for that team.
Yeah.
Um,
The
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 league
only
is
thing,
definitely pushing them. The
yeah,
league's trying to get them the highest, like, give them all the events and stuff, and their fan rally was packed.
yeah, and Rapoli definitely has a little bit of a bias for them. I think he has a little bit of bias
Yeah.
for us too.
Yeah.
But he does with the whole horse racing thing. Like I have him on
Yeah.
Twitter, and I would
Mm.
say like he posts more about his horse racing than he does the UFL. So
All
he,
the time. It's 90% horse race.
yeah, yeah. So he's obviously super attached to that area. But
Hmm.
yeah, the only thing I don't like about the Louisville Kings, and it'll have nothing to do with their team success. But man, I don't like the colors. I don't like the branding. I don't like
Guardians
anything about that. Yeah, and just that it's
looks
like
like they are.
I get the Kings and the horse and all that, but like I think to a casual
Mm.
person, it's kind of confusing to have a horse mascot and then be named the Kings and then have like these
Mm.
futuristic neon green colors. It's like you
Yeah.
have like three different kind of things going on. So the jerseys were fine for what the color scheme they had. Um,
Yeah.
but
No, the
outside of
jerseys
that,
do look solid. I mean, granted, if they are the real jerseys and like that's how they look like, I think it's
yeah,
solid. I think that's how the Guardians probably should have done it. But I mean, the tone green is just not pretty thing to look
yeah,
at.
yeah. And then we'll see. I think their coach was Chris Redman. He's a former
Mhm.
Louisville Cardinals
Yeah.
quarterback. So we see with that very light coaching history more in the realm of the AJ McCarron and the Ted Ginn
Hmm.
Jr. And then the
Mm,
Columbus Aviators obviously had Tank Get Jr. That's a massive
mm,
swing. At least the other two
yeah,
player um, centric coaches are quarterbacks. So that's more of like an
yeah,
IQ based role. Not saying it can't work
yeah,
for the Columbus Aviators, but it's a massive swing. So we'll see
yeah, for sure.
with that. And then the next idea Rapoli had, so obviously he had the smaller venues. We've already kind of went over that. I
Mm,
think we both agree that's a really good idea.
mm,
And then the next idea he kind of brought in was more of the focus on locality to each team's market, and that
yeah,
kind of really started with the regional and college allocations.
mm,
So he basically announced each team would have three selections, um,
mm,
and would have like priority rights over four different colleges and would get to choose three players um,
yeah.
as their like reserves from these colleges. Um,
Mm.
so, what did you think about that idea in general? Um,
Um, it was all right. I don't because after talking about some people, people are like, there's not like I don't think there's any names in the league that you like see and like, oh my gosh, I have to go see them. Like,
yeah,
we got two, I believe, we got Cole Schneider, who was a guard, and I think maybe the other one was, is it Sam Jackson? Maybe
Sam
I think it was
Jackson.
two, because he played for UCF too, so it might have been two guards, and then we got Elijah Badger, who's a receiver. But there's like, I don't agree with like kind of messing that up. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. It's only three, but I see where his standpoint was coming from, but I just think it could have been executed better. Um, so it's not like a huge nitpick, but at first he was like, all the teams are gonna have to get like 12 players. And it's like, you know, only ended up being three, and it wasn't really a big deal. So
Yeah. So you were opposed to 12 and you were happier with three.
yeah, I just think because he made such a big deal out of it at first on like Twitter and on his shows, like he's like, "Oh, we're gonna get all the players that are within 100-mile radius," and then it ended up being three. It's like we didn't really have to do all of that. Like I don't know, it's all right,
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
So in your opinion, you would rather focus on just what's the best players available rather than
Yeah,
dudes that are just local.
yeah,
Yeah. I think that's a fair point. And 12
hmm
definitely seemed like a lot. But
hmm
I won't lie, I was a little bit disappointed at three. Um, just
yeah,
because, I want to see players I know, and I
yeah,
think um, that also helps fans, like especially, UCF fans
yeah,
that live in Orlando. And there's a ton of
yeah,
Florida Gator fans that live in Orlando too, and
yeah,
FSU fans in Miami and whatever. There's a mix of
hmm
everything in Orlando. So
hmm
if there was a big name player, in the UFL that went to Miami or went to USF or
yeah,
went to UCF, or I would love the Orlando Storm to be able to be like, yeah, that's our guy. But
yeah,
that is still possible with three. So I guess I
hmm
do kind of see what you're like that number is, I
yeah,
guess, a pretty good one that they settled on. Though I was disappointed at first when they
hmm
went down to three because I was like,
yeah,
man, we're gonna have a team full of UCF guys. But
yeah.
I guess I can't be too greedy. We still got two of the three.
Yeah, yeah, we got two UCF guys, and but like I don't know how much like I was saying earlier, I'm like I don't know how much notable guys from Florida are even in the UFL that will make a casual fan be like, oh, I remember them. I mean,
Yeah,
you'd have to be a really good like not a casual for your team to be like, oh, I remember them.
yeah, yeah. So I think that, yeah, and then that moves us to the next point, which was the
Mm-hmm.
reserve lists. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it was up to 10 players, if maybe it's 10 or 12.
10 or 12, like some
Yeah.
I think it was maybe 12.
So basically each team had the right to reserve 10 or 12, we can't remember the
Mm-hmm.
specific number,
Yeah.
from their previous year's roster. And since obviously
Mm-hmm.
the Orlando Storm did not have a roster, they were delegated the San Antonio Brahmas roster.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of led to the shaking up, which I'll get into in the next couple key changes here. But this led into a bunch of huge shakeups in rosters, basically meaning
Mm-hmm.
that teams like the DC Defenders, Dallas Renegades, Birmingham Stallions, all the existing teams, a
Mhm.
majority of their rosters were going to be changed unless they were able to get them in the draft. So, how did you
Mhm.
feel about the introduction of the reserve lists, and just that kind of setting up for just such a massive change in the
Mhm.
rosters for the UFL in this upcoming season?
Yeah, at first I was a little like skeptical because I thought um the teams were just going to transfer over at first, which I feel like a lot of people wanted to do. But then we kind of figured out they were firing all the coaches except like one. So I guess it was a good uh point to make because it's like I know I bet Beggs didn't want the whole San Antonio Brahmas roster. Like,
Yeah.
and same with like the two other teams. So I liked the idea after all the shakeups with the coaches. You needed a fresh start. And it almost feels like this like a brand new league. Like this doesn't feel like it's going into its third year. Feels like it's a brand new, which in some points it's a brand new whole roster, which these guys have had to restart on different teams for like three or four times, which sucks. But hopefully this is the last shakeup in rosters. So I like the idea. I think I like the guys we got. I like the idea Rick Bully had. So, can't complain that I really like our roster right now. So it's hard to complain about that.
Yeah, like right now that it's settled in, I think people are a lot more accepting of it. At first, I
Yeah.
can definitely sympathize with the fans of all the existing teams, though, having,
Hmm.
rooting for this team, like getting close to them,
Yeah,
and then seeing it.
for
This new
sure.
guy comes in and just completely like resets everything.
Yeah.
But hey, you get 10 people left over. So there's a
Yeah.
little bit of like, okay, I mean, we'll let it slide because we get
Hmm.
our 10, most favorite or most
Yeah.
important players. But
Yeah.
um, so the two major ideas that I had thought before he came up with his reserve list thing was either what, like you said, the Orlando Storm would just get the whole Brahmas roster, and then
Yeah.
the Louisville Kings would get the Louisville Kings would get the Memphis Showboats roster, and then
Hmm.
the Columbus Aviators would get the Michigan Panthers roster.
Hmm.
Um, I, again, me as a relatively new UFL fan,
Hmm.
and certainly new to covering, um, I hated that idea. It
Yeah.
didn't make sense to me, and it didn't seem balanced at all. Because
Hmm.
why would one brand new team get a roster that was
Yeah.
in the championship game when
Yeah.
another new UFL team gets a team that was at the very bottom of the league? So it
Yeah,
just
certainly.
didn't seem balanced to me. So what I thought
Hmm.
we would do, we wouldn't shake up the existing teams. They would keep their whole rosters.
Hmm.
But all the players that were on the three rosters that are gone would
Yeah.
be entered into a draft, and just us three teams would draft from those rosters. Um,
Yeah.
so the OG teams get their guys, they're happy, they're fine.
Hmm.
Then the new teams, it don't matter because we didn't have rosters to begin with, so
Yeah.
um, it didn't work out that way. And I'm not really too offended by the reserve lists
Hmm.
in place of that. But again, I sympathize a bit with
Yeah.
the OGs, I guess, that already had
Yeah. Yeah.
time.
It sucks.
Then we had the UFL draft and the free agent draft. So
Hmm.
how did you feel about how that whole process kind of went? We just went position by position, and we started off with the existing players, and then we
Yeah.
went with the all of the other players who were not included in that
Yeah.
UFL draft.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a very lengthy process between the first day and the second day, but I really liked the process. I mean, we drafted a lot of Battlehawk guys, which was expected because backed and everything, but I didn't think I think we did a really good job. I think we got good guys, so I didn't mind um the former player draft, whatever it's called, the free agent draft. I think it was a good mix up to get a bunch of new guys in. You know, I think that's what shakes up the league. That's how you keep people on their feet. It's not an NFL team. I mean, half of your guys, third of your guys are going to be gone by the end of next year. Like, you might have a whole brand new offense next year, defense, etc. So I like the draft. I had no complaints about it. I think it was a good process, and I think every team got um, a fair like fair amount of players they wanted. So I think it was good.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. Given this path that he chose with the reserve list, I don't really see a better way, a more balanced way of doing it.
Mhm.
It is for you. I can imagine it was busy having like literally posting after every single player was drafted and giving a little bit of information that I can't imagine. And then obviously
It
for
was,
me when
yeah.
I put that video up, I mean that was when I before I edited it, it was like a 3 hour video. I was sitting here recording and then
Yeah.
then I'm going and I have a free software so that it's really
Yeah.
clunky and really buggy and really bad. So it's like
Hmm.
um yeah, that was a lot, but it was definitely it was fun and it was certainly interesting
Hmm.
getting to know at least all these players at a surface level.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the format was good given
Mhm.
the reserve lists and everything else.
Oh.
So then that brings us to maybe something that's not important, not as impacting to rosters or to team success or anything like that, but it is something that Rapoli oversaw, and it is a part of his tenure, I guess you could say. And
Mm.
that was the unveiling of the UFL shop. So uh, before I get into my little spiel on it, what was your experience with it? How familiar were you with how that launched, and what were your opinions on it?
It reminded me a lot of the XFL shop. Um, Pretty bad. Like not a lot of options, which is fine. It's a new league, you're not gonna have tons of options. But I mean, it's not a good sign when the first thing you click on, you see an AI, like clearly AI picture of like a fake family, and they're all wearing different color shirts. I mean, this I got from the UFL shop, and it's the same. I got the team I wanted. I don't have any complaints. I think the shirts are like a different manufacturer because I think it's 108 stitches is the shirt like brand is what they make them. But I think everything else is just purely the UFL. And that's, we've been seeing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the bad things that's happened. I just doesn't look great. I don't think I'm gonna get anything else besides a shirt. It's like I don't need anything else, but definitely not a great look. I know Rapoli was like, you expect us to be perfect, but it's like, yeah, like
Yeah, well,
it's
um, sorry, not to cut you off,
no.
but
I was
I
just,
think someone responded to that. I can't remember who. I'd like to give him credit, but no, it was the Birmingham Stallions. I don't know his exact handle. I feel bad for that, but he
mm.
he's what was his? He's really like he has a pretty big following. He
Is
leads
it
the
State
UFL
of the
trash and stuff.
Stallions?
Yes, State of the Stallions. He said
Yeah, Luke.
there's a
Yeah,
big difference between perfection and where you are right now. So it's like this is not
yeah,
a 0 to 100 thing. And again, I don't want to get on
mm.
bad terms with the league. Not like I don't think they're
Yeah,
watching this anyways, but like
yeah,
this is just like there's a middle ground. Like a 70 we'll say is a
yeah,
passing grade. Um,
yeah,
the problem is you're at about a 25 right now. Like we
yeah,
don't expect
for
a
sure.
100, but we should expect at
No,
least a 60 or a 70.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so I've already made a video kind of going over it, and I don't like to talk
mm,
negatively about this league
mm,
at all.
mm,
But at the same time, in that video, I kind of said, listen, it's not that big of a deal. This stuff takes like maybe 2, 3 weeks to fix. And I've
yeah,
been checking in every week, and they haven't changed anything. I mean, I'm talking
no,
if you use your phone, if you're a new fan to the UFL, you're on Instagram, you see
mm,
them advertising the UFL shop, you click on the link on your phone, you go on there and say you're a Battlehawks fan, and you go down
mhm,
to select your team, it only shows seven of the teams, and the seventh one is the
yeah,
Orlando Storm, and that one's halfway cut off. The logo is like halfway cut off. You can't even see the Battlehawks, so you're looking and you're like, my team's not even on here. Well, never mind, I'm not buying anything. And then,
yeah,
well, obviously you see the AI image, and that's a whole different discussion, but it's like AI is like it is what it is, but we'll look past it if it's at least a good image. This looks like you were on the free plan of ChatGPT and you just type this in a prompt and then
it,
hit download. It's really not good.
I
And
was,
I'm yeah, like I don't want to be rude, but it's like when the letters on the t-shirt are like some of them are ineligible, like that's not an English
yeah,
letter. Like who looked at that and passed that through? Like, even if you only have one person doing all of this, like that one person
Yeah,
should be able to see, like, come on, this is a professional football league. This isn't
exactly.
this isn't
Yeah,
some dude I'm paying $5 to go make for me. Like it,
yeah,
if you want to be at least even somewhat comparable to the NFL, you can't have stuff like that pass through and not only pass through, but sit on there for months and not address it. Um,
hmm
and then that's not even including fans ordering things, spending their money on what, let's just be real, and I'm fine to pay overpriced prices to support the league, but they're overpriced items and they're getting the completely wrong item. And they're waiting 2 months to get that item. And like you
yeah,
said, you don't think you're going to buy something right now. Even
mhm.
if you did, it probably wouldn't get here in time for the season to start with the way
Yeah, yeah,
they've been shipping things. I think I ordered that hoodie from the unofficial shop before the shop
hmm
opened. That one took at least 6 weeks, I want to say. And that was
hmm
fine. Like I have patience and understanding. This is a new thing going on, but
hmm
um, it's been at least a couple months now, and it seems like it's only gotten worse. And then instead of, a genuine apology, we kind of get this passive aggressive, like joking, like,
yeah,
why are you guys so mad that you're spending hundreds of dollars on our stuff and it's completely wrong and you have no email, you have no phone number, you have no way to get your money
yeah,
back? Like, oh, why are you guys so mad? Just give us patience. Like, I'll continue to be patient. I'll continue to support the league, but um, and I don't want to be over dramatic about it. But it's just an awful look. It's just
it's not good at all. It's I like you said, like we don't need perfection. Like that's we just need I shouldn't be getting like I think that's very hard to do if I'm getting a sign of an Orlando Storm that says "Go Battlehawks." I don't
yeah,
know how you screw
yeah,
like that's not even like and to not even put that one mat that someone got. It's not even like what the photo shows. Like it's laughable and it's really not like the biggest deal, but it's still concerning because, like you said, a professional football league.
yeah.
This isn't anything
And
close to professional.
yeah, and it's the whole goal here is you want to get new fans invested. You want
Mm,
because there's already a lot of passive aggressive
mm,
there's already like a lot of passive aggressive dismissal of the UFL as a league from NFL fans, from college football
yeah,
fans, from people who are kind of on the outside looking in. These people genuinely
mm,
love football and would love to watch more
yeah,
of it. You need to win them over. And when all they're seeing on
yeah,
Twitter is memes of you screwing up orders and then joking about it, um,
yeah,
you're pushing away fans. It may not be that many, and of course, if the Orlando Storm comes out and they're really successful and they get the hype,
mm,
they'll forget about this stuff. But
yeah.
at the same time, I don't think you can afford to be turning anyone away, um,
No.
regardless of what the cause is. So
Mm,
I won't rant anymore. I really hope they take the fans' criticism to heart and they fix everything. But at the end of the day, if the team wins games, if the team is good, and the
slow
the
manners.
product on the field is good, that is the most important thing here. So
Mm,
let's hope they're making the moves to make that happen above everything else.
yeah.
Um,
So.
yeah, and with that, we'll go ahead and get into our staff hires.
Mm,
First, and probably most importantly, Anthony Becht, which kind of made a lot of buzz when it first came out, coming
mm,
from the Battlehawks to the Orlando Storm. Played in the NFL from 2000 to 2011, was a tight end coach for the San Diego Fleet in 2019. So when he first
mm,
became a head coach for the Battlehawks, did not really have a lot of head coaching experience, but quickly
yeah.
shored up all those doubts. Winning
Mm,
record in every season, but his main Achilles heel here being he has still yet to win a playoff game. So,
yeah.
what was your thought on head coach Anthony Becht being named for the Orlando Storm?
Football wise and like winning wise, I loved it. Great. He's a good coach. Like he's one of the few XFL coaches that have stuck in, he knows how to lead a team. He's had 7 and 8 wins, I believe, in every out of his 3 seasons. So I mean that's great. You know, At first I thought we are gonna like because I think the first two coaches were AJ McCarron and then Ted Ginn. And I think Storm was third. Could be wrong, but I'm not sure. So I thought, oh, if they're going this direction, we're gonna be getting Blake Bortles. Like I thought we are gonna be like getting someone that would like appeal to Orlando fans because you heard Rapoli talking. He's like, we want these coaches to have like experience in Florida. When people see that name, like, oh, he coaches. That was like the only like not like negative thing, but it was like the first thing. It's like, oh, people aren't gonna like see Anthony Beck and be like, we got to go see an Orlando Storm game. But I think Beck is the perfect um spring football coach. He gets his players to the league. He's very like a team first guy. So and he's just very he cares about the league. He cares about attendance. If you stalk his Twitter or anything, all it is show up Orlando hashtag. That's he gets memed about that, but he cares. He genuinely cares about his players and the team. So I thought it was great hire for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was super excited when I saw that. And again, I think it's just like the soft-hearted side of me. Again, I
Mhm.
felt really bad for the Battlehawks fans because I'm like,
Yeah,
man, I think they like this guy. But at the same time, I
yeah,
did see a bit of a mixed reaction. Some people just
mhm.
fed up with not winning in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I really like the hire. I like that he's been in the league. He kind of knows how this thing works by now, and
mhm.
he's had regular season success. Again,
Mhm.
it scares me that he hasn't won in the playoffs. But again, I don't
Yeah,
think you can completely just put that on him.
yeah,
Um, it's it's just something to keep in the back of your head, though, right? Like if we
of
have a
course.
good regular season and we're going into the playoffs looking like a really strong team, that's something that's still just going to be sticking back there. Like, can he do it?
Yeah,
Can he actually get over this
a lot
hump?
of fans.
Um,
Mhm.
and if he doesn't, I think that might turn kind of quick. But
Yeah,
um, we'll see. Obviously, I'm not predicting that. Um,
yeah,
but again, like it's just something that's going to be back there until he proves it wrong. And even in his own
yeah,
brain, I'm sure it's back there until he proves it to himself.
for sure.
But I got faith in him. I think we can get it done, and I think
Me too.
he drafted a really good roster too. So
Hmm.
um, let's just keep going with the coordinators. So we got offensive coordinator Kyle Kaskey. I'll just go through his career history up until this point, and it's kind of a
Hmm.
lot of different places, so it'll be a little bit more
Hmm.
lengthy. We got Louisiana Monroe, where he was graduate assistant from 2004 to 2005. Then he moved on to Indiana State as recruiting coordinator, 2006 to 2008. Then the Ole Miss, 2009 as a defensive assistant coach. So, like, I think that's significant because he's an offensive coordinator. He's also had defensive positions before. And then he made his transition into the NFL with the Cincinnati Bengals. He stayed there from 2010 to 2018 as an offensive quality control and assistant offensive line coach and a running backs coach. Then to the Detroit Lions from 2019 to 2020 as a running backs coach. Then the Jaguars as an offensive quality control coach. And then his ties with Anthony Beck kind of started in 2024 through 2025 as the running backs coach and special teams coordinator. And then that brings us to present day as the Orlando Storm's offensive coordinator. And one other thing I'll say, obviously, I have not really ever watched his offensive in depth and analyzed his film,
Hmm.
um, but this dude looks like he is a drill sergeant at a Marine boot camp. Like if you
Yeah.
look at his picture on Instagram, this dude looks like he is straight business. And I don't know, that's
Hmm.
just me guessing based off his looks what his personality is, but if he
Yeah.
is like that, that is I think the right players love that. They love the coach that's
Hmm.
like that
Yeah.
just pushes you and is hard on you. The type of players that don't like that are usually the ones that don't really want success for themselves.
Yeah.
So I know back in high school when I played football, I love the coaches like that. The ones that are
Hmm.
constantly letting you know exactly how it is. So
Yeah.
let's see if that's how he is. But what do you know about Kyle Kaskey and what did you think about that hire?
I've had a couple of conversations with him just over text message. He seems like a great guy, He's constantly trying to find the best players, Um, his offense from what I've seen in St. Louis looks really good. I think the offense is going to be very aggressive, which is probably the best Like that's how you win. That's how you score. So I think he's gonna be a great hire. He's just a great. I feel like he's a great guy. I've seen all of his players that like him. Um, Former players. I think he's got a good. Seems like a good coach. So I really like the hire. I have no complaints about that. So
Yeah. And we'll see. I'm still a little confused as to if he's going to be the one calling the plays or if that's going to be
mhm,
Anthony Becht. I know a lot of head
yeah,
coaches prefer to be the one calling the plays since Anthony Becht's more an offensive guy. But I've also
yeah,
read that Anthony Becht is more of like the CEO. I don't know
mhm,
if Mike Vrabel is a good comp for that or not, but more of
yeah,
like the controlling of the whole operation rather than
yeah,
the
for
playbook
sure.
and the
Yeah,
in-game stuff.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll see if he's calling the plays or if it's Anthony Becht. I don't know. Do you have any insight on that?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty certain, but with no sources or anything. But like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it'll be Caskey calling plays because I don't think Beck called plays in St. Louis. I could be wrong completely, but I'm pretty sure it'll be Caskey.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Um, and from what I've read, I mean, again, I could be wrong, but it was mostly like a pass heavy type approach back in St. Louis, or
Yeah,
was
yeah,
yeah
yeah. It's
with
pass
AJ?
heavy, but
Okay.
yeah, he's obviously a running backs coach, so and we're gonna have good running backs. So I know has very high insight or not insight, but like Corbin, I think is Joshua Corbin.
Yeah.
He told me he's gonna lead the league in rushing again. So well,
Yeah.
but I think our team's gonna be great with him. So, but I'm pretty sure it'll be pass heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope. I mean, that would be awesome. He could
Yeah,
him and assuming DTR. I guess we'll
yeah,
get into him more later, but we got DTR and him running the read option, and we got them speedy. We got a
yeah,
couple speedy wide receivers. I mean, I could see it.
yeah.
I could see it looking pretty good. But before we get into that, we'll go ahead and get into defensive coordinator Donnie Abraham. He has a little bit of playing career to his
Mhm.
coaching career as well, so we'll get into that first. He started with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so some local Florida ties there. In 1996, played with them until 2001, and then he signed with the New York Jets from 2002 to 2004. He began his coaching career the year after that in 2005 with Eastlake as a defensive backs coach. Stayed there until 2008, and then was head coach for Gibbs, Florida. Not too familiar with that program, but stayed with them from 2009 to 2010, and then was with the Tampa Bay Storm as a defensive backs coach from 2011 to 2012. Then back with Eastlake, 2012 as a defensive backs coach, and then a head coach for Clearwater, 2013 to 2014, and then a defensive coordinator for IMG Academy from 2015 to 2016, and then Illinois in 2017, defensive backs coach. And then I did not know that, the Orlando Apollos in 2019, their defensive backs coach. And then with the St.
That's
Louis
right.
Battlehawks, obviously, is their defensive coordinator, 2023 to 2025. And now the Orlando Storm in 2026. He also made a Pro Bowl in 2000 as a player, was the interception leader in 1999, and was part of the All Rookie team in 1996. One more tiny bit of stuff that I thought was interesting, and I thought it when I saw his last name, but he is Micah Abraham's dad. We got
Yeah,
him as a cornerback as well. So
yeah,
I didn't know that. I thought it when I saw the last name, and I looked it up, and yep, that is Micah Abraham's dad. So we might have a cornerback one. I don't know. No, I don't
yeah.
think he's gonna do that. But but hey, you know, father son duo on the team. So what do you think about Donnie Abraham?
I like the hire. Like I said, I think, it's hard to nitpick because St. Louis has had, three winning seasons, like with both these guys at their respective positions. Um, so I mean, I like the hire. I don't know too much about him. Like you said, uh, Micah Abraham, that's his dad. So I think that'll be pretty cool. I don't have much to say about him. I think he'll be good. Beck clearly likes him, and I know Beck would pick a good staff. Um, yeah, but I think he'll be good. Our defense looks, don't think it'll be a hard job for him. Our defense looks really good, so should be easy for him. So we'll see.
Yeah, 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 I definitely got to go back and look at some Battlehawks games and see like what
Hmm.
type of defense they run.
Yeah.
I've always been more of a fan of like the dynamic change, like game to game, play to play, drive to
Mm.
drive, like change the defense, keep it
Yeah.
dynamic rather than a
Mm.
lot of coaches just like to run soft zone, to just drop back and cover
Yeah.
three and cover two all game long. I don't
Hmm.
like that, but if he does do that, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, a
Yeah.
different way of doing it. So if you do it well and you have the right players, either way can work. But we'll see. I mean, based off his resume, which is all I really have to go off of, he's obviously a
Mhm.
player's coach. He played extensively
Yeah.
at a high level, and then he's coached for the past 20 plus years. So
Hmm.
I mean, it looks really good to me. Um,
Yeah.
not really much else I have to say that. And then obviously Micah Abraham's
Yeah.
dad and a
Yeah.
little sneak peek. I'm a huge fan of Micah Abraham, so
Mm.
that's really cool. They have, like uh, a whole family, uh,
Yeah.
family line in football. I think Micah Abraham's brother also plays football at some level. I'm not for sure on that. I think his name's Devin Abraham. Not 100% for sure on that, so maybe I'm wrong on that. But
Mm.
yeah, it's like football runs in the family, so I guess that's also a little good sign there.
Yeah.
But then that brings us into the quarterbacks. So I'll go ahead and start
Mm.
with Jack Plummer. Um,
Mm.
Most notably played for the Louisville Cardinals, but he started his college career with Purdue in 2018, played with them until 2021. Didn't really have much significant playing time, never played more than 6 games for the Purdue Boilermakers, and then he played with California. He played and started in all 12 games for them. Um, Finished with a 4-8 record through 62.5%, had 3,119 yards, and had a 21-9 touchdown interception ratio. What's really funny about this year, um, he had 52 attempts rushing and negative 126 rushing yards.
I
So,
remember seeing that.
yeah, just absolutely wild. I guess these are all kneel downs and I guess
Thanks.
attempted rushes getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage. But he did have one touchdown on the ground for whatever that's worth. I don't know how on negative 126 yards, but he snuck one in somehow. Um, but obviously, you can tell much more of a pocket passer here. Then
Hmm.
with Louisville was kind of his first real significant year. A 10-4 record, 64.8% completion, and 3,204 yards. 21 to 12 touchdown interception ratio, really similar to the previous year. And then he got that rushing total up to 34 yards on 98 attempts for a point 0.3 yards per carry average and one more touchdown. Um,
There we go.
so that's Jack Plummer. I'll just go ahead and get straight into DTR or Dorian Thompson Robinson. He spent his whole college career with UCLA from 2018 to 2022. Um, his most significant year came in his final 2 seasons, really. Well, his sophomore year was pretty significant too. He had 21 to 12 touchdown interception ratio, 59.7%, 2,701 yards passing, also 198 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Um, but then in 2021, his I guess technically his junior year, he led the Bruins to an 8-3 record, had a 62% completion percentage, 2,409 yards, 21 to 6 touchdown interception ratio, and had 609 yards rushing with 9 touchdowns. So a 4.7 yards per carry average. Pretty significant numbers there on the ground. And then he finished
Hmm.
off his career with the Bruins, um, leading them to a 9-4 record, 69.6 completion percentage, which is pretty good. 3,154 passing yards, 27 to 10 touchdown interception ratio, 646 yards on the ground, and 12 touchdowns. Um, he would then, his NFL career began with the Cleveland Browns. Did not really see much significant playing time. I think he was behind Deshaun Watson. So when he would get in, it would be in place of him. Um, he had a 1-2 record in his first year, 53.6 completion percentage, and a 1-4 touchdown interception ratio. Also 65 yards on 14 attempts, no rushing touchdowns. He'd follow up that year with an 0-2 record, a 51.7 completion percentage, no passing touchdowns, and six interceptions. Also had 122 yards on the ground, but no rushing touchdowns either. So, what do you think about this quarterback room for the Orlando Storm, and who would you say would be your day one starter if you had to predict right now?
I love our quarterback room. I think there's two great guys. You know, they're both have their strengths and their weaknesses. We know Plummer's obviously pocket passer. Meanwhile, DTR can move around the field. He can play action, roll out, throw it on the run. And he obviously can use his legs too to add a dual threat. So I like both these guys. DTR is obviously more notable. It's a casual fan. So I would, off of potential, and we don't know how good these guys will look in camp, obviously. I think DTR is my day one starter. But then again, I know Beck likes both guys. So Plummer could also very well be the day one starter. So I think I would lean DTR just off of his reps in the NFL. Meanwhile, like they weren't like that great. But I've watched some of his games. He's had bad coaching, bad O line, bad weapons, and he was just thrown in there. He started a handful of games, so that's definitely something to take into consideration. And he led a game-winning drive against the Steelers one year, and he looked really good on his final drive. So I would lean DTR.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think that's really where the conversation comes down to is do you value what are mostly, not to be disrespectful, but mostly bad looking time reps in the NFL more than no reps in the NFL,
Mm,
which Jack Plummer, as far as I know, really doesn't have any playing experience outside of maybe preseason
mm,
and on practice squads for some teams,
mm,
where DTR does at least have games played and games started with the Cleveland Browns.
mm.
And in DTR's defense, I'm not willing to put the Cleveland Browns' horrible management of their team and their horrible
Yeah,
just everything, just a complete
yeah,
dumpster fire. Like, I guess I can disrespect them because this is not my league and this is not related to them, but a
yeah,
complete dumpster fire of an organization,
mm,
just throwing
for
him in
sure.
there and then letting him catch
Yeah,
all the blame. Not saying he's blameless, but if you
yeah,
put him in a much better situation, I cannot imagine it looks that bad. So
no,
I would also lean DTR, and you also have, if even if we're throwing out the NFL for DTR and just going college for college with these two guys, I would still lean DTR because he at least has that rushing impact. The
hmm
passing numbers are pretty comparable. I wouldn't say either one is significantly better than the other. Um,
mm,
Not that stats are the only thing that matters. So I'm sure Jack
yeah,
brings, you know, from what coaches said, he brings a level of like IQ to the game,
mm,
like calling out when certain blitzes are coming and changing the protection
yeah,
and stuff like that. That's all really important too.
hmm
Um, but just that rushing ability with DTR and the very similar passing numbers to Jack Plummer, I would probably also lean DTR at this point. But obviously, I think either guy could win the job, and I really wouldn't be surprised if they announced Jack Plummer as the starter day one.
yeah,
But I would also I would agree with you, and I would lean with DTR, and I think that would be a really exciting watch, kind of how I alluded to earlier. You can get a
yeah,
read option going with him and Jashawn
mm,
Corbin, and you got some of those speedy slot receivers who you should have no problem
mm,
hitting the quick slants if you want to do a
yeah,
run pass option. Um, and yeah, I mean it with DTR or Jack Plummer, I think it could be a really electric offense with the weapons they
hmm
have around them for
yeah,
sure.
mm,
Um, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the roster, and we'll start like
mm.
who do you think are the elite guys? Like these guys immediately, it shouldn't be no surprise they'll come in and be the best players on this roster day one.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, I think Corbin is going to be our running back one. I like both of our other guys. I think can't remember their names, but I know their last names. I just don't want to butcher anything. But Corbin, he has UFL experience. He's the leading rusher. I'm pretty sure he had close to 6 yards per carry last year, which is, that's a first down in 2 plays. You know,
Yep.
that's crazy good numbers. And I expect him to be an impact player right away. Obviously, our recent signing of KJ Hamler, I think off of NFL college, he's probably the best receiver in the UFL. I think he's obviously going to start unless, he gets hurt or just bearing any accidents. He's going to be an impact. I think I really like Chris Rowland. He was a defender last year. He's also a slot guy, which he was second in the league for receiving yards, which I was talking to some guys. I'm not sure how the KJ Hamler situation is going to hurt him because, like, they're both, I think Rowland's like 5'8", Hamler's 5'10", both slot
Yeah.
guys for sure. But I heard some people are thinking KJ Hamler plays on the outside. So who knows there? So we'll see. I really like we have D Anderson. He's six
Mhm.
five. I think he stays on the team for his height because if you look through the receiver room, not a lot of height necessarily. So we don't have anyone you could chuck a deep ball to. Like, not saying any of these guys can't catch a deep ball, but he's 6'5", so
Yeah.
he could go get a jump ball. That's what he's known for. And I think the last receiver I name is Elijah Badger. He was electric at Florida, and he didn't play in the UFL. And I'm not sure if he got signed at one point during the offseason. I'm not too sure about that, but I do know he's going to make an impact right away. I think he's also a day one starter. So I'm excited to see who makes the cut. I think right now we have 10 receivers. We'll probably unironically carry 6 or 7 receivers on the roster, I'd say. Um, those are the people I assume they're good. They're going to be good. Bearing anything could happen. Those 3 guys I named might not make the roster. Who knows? Like, so that's who I just throw out for receivers. Tight ends, I think that's anyone's job, really, because someone said the 3 tight ends we drafted are no longer on our team anymore. Like, I think we have free agents now. Um, I really like Cole Schneider, the guard we got from UCF in Birmingham. He's good day one starter. He's probably one of the best guards in the league. So he's gonna be great. He's a core piece. We got a lot of stallions. So I'd say offense wise, that's who I'd go with. If you want to add any defense or any other offense players
Yeah.
you have.
Well, just in general, sticking with that offensive line, I do like that
Mm,
it seemed like they made that a focus early on, especially with the
hmm
college allocations, 2 of the 3 being offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And then I think Teton Salts, or I can't remember how to
Yeah.
pronounce his name, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he an
Yeah,
offensive
that's right.
tackle that they got?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he's a tackle. I can
Yeah.
look for you, but I'm almost certain.
So yeah, immediately just going hard on the offensive line. I do
Hmm
love that because being a Colts fan and watching Andrew Luck get destroyed by these horrible offensive lines and them just refusing to draft them and then like
Yeah.
yeah, I realize the importance of the offensive line. So love that. To get into specific players, like you said, Jashawn Corbin, that's a super obvious one. Chris Rowland should be immediate playmaker, assuming him and KJ Hamler don't take snaps away from each other. Um,
hmm
but another one on the defensive side that you didn't mention, Tavante Beckett. I've loved this guy for a long
hmm
time. Like when I was first
Baller.
watching
Hmm
film of the UFL, this was one of the first guys I started watching for I think episode 4. Um, Fell in love with him immediately. Like he doesn't impress you in terms of he's like 6'5" and he's
hmm
290 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just the heart and the hustle and everything I've
hmm
seen from the social media stuff from the Brahmas that I could find.
Yeah.
Seems like just a really good locker room guy, just a really cool dude to
hmm
be around. So
Yeah.
to me, that seems like an early pick for a
hmm
defensive captain. We'll see, but
Yeah.
to have him as a middle linebacker, I was excited. I was so
hmm
happy we chose him, and honestly, it was a pretty, in my opinion, it was an obvious choice. So glad they made that
Yeah.
happen. And then Chris Claybrooks, obviously, again, I think he came from the Renegades, if I'm
hmm
correct with that.
Yeah.
And then I believe he has time in the NFL as well. Um,
Jaguars. Yeah.
so that should be another top of the roster player. And then more of like breakout players who haven't really proved themselves yet. Um,
Mhm.
I mentioned him earlier, Micah Abraham.
Yeah.
I have knowledge of him mostly because I saw him play for the Colts in this one preseason
Yeah.
a couple years ago, and he just this one play specifically, like he was balling out regardless, but this one play specifically, and I had posted in a previous video when I broke down the draft, but
Mhm.
this dude like catches the ball, and you think it's just going to be a tackle for a loss of yards, but Mike Abraham, he's just blitzing like full speed. He like literally grabs the ball out of this dude's arm, rips it away from him, rushes down the field, gets a touchdown. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that dude just made the roster, and for whatever
Yeah.
reason, he didn't. And our
Mhm.
corners absolutely sucked that year. So I'm like,
Yeah.
this dude deserved that roster spot. There's
Yeah.
no way he should. So that is, I'm really hoping for him to succeed because that this dude has potential, and I think he can light it up, especially under this defensive coordinator and uh,
Yeah.
and with this team. So I'm so excited for him. I really hope he breaks out.
Mhm.
But other than that,
Yeah.
you already mentioned Elijah Badger and KJ Hamler, two guys who
Mhm.
haven't really proven anything in the UFL. But um, Elijah Badger, I think, wasn't he a former first round pick? Maybe I'm wrong on first round, but he was a former
I'm
draft
not
pick for
too
sure.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I
former
mean, he's a stud
NFL
at
draft
Florida.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And KJ Hamler, he was a second round pick. I know that for sure.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and he had like did he have like a game winning touchdown at some point? He
Against the Chargers, yeah.
yeah.
That's
So he was electric and had Broncos fan was just texting me and telling me he loved them and he's so excited that he's on the Orlando Storm and it's just the injuries. I mean, it seems like every time he starts getting some success
yeah.
built up, hamstring or
Yeah.
ACL
No
or
one yeah, no one has any bad words about him. It's all just like he just couldn't stay healthy. I'm pretty sure he had like I could be wrong, but I think he had something with his heart or something. He had
oh
something
jeez.
like so that which set him out. But like you see everyone when he gets like when he got released or traded. I know when he got cut from the Bills, everyone was just like sucks and like and everyone's just have good words to say about him. So I'm excited. I hope because obviously I knowing him, he's not gonna I'm gonna stay in the UFL. He wants to get back to the NFL. So I just hope he has a great season, gets what he needs to do and gets back in the league.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's super easy to root for because that's just
Mhm.
really unfortunate. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, those are like the players on top of mind for me. I'm sure
Yeah.
obviously I have to watch a lot more film. There's a lot of these guys
Mhm.
just never heard of and never
Yeah.
seen play before. So once we start watching them play, we'll quickly figure out
Yeah.
what these guys are all about. But I guess really the next topic, shifting away from the rosters, and this is just the next thing that Rapoli kind of unveiled most recently,
Mhm.
and that is the jerseys. So this was a
Mhm.
pretty hot topic for a little while.
Mhm.
How do you feel? I won't get into all the other teams, just to keep it brief, but how did you feel about just the little sketch of the Orlando Storm jersey with the black helmet, black jersey, black pants?
Um, I like the helmet. I so wish that helmet was dark purple. That would have been perfect. But I if this is the real jersey, because you know how Rapoli likes to troll around, make jokes online. So they could look totally different. But off what we're going from, I don't hate the jerseys. I've said before, I said if these aren't like purple jerseys, then I'd want a black jersey with like purple, like I would think like a lightning bolt, like a purple and orange lightning bolt, like kind of going through each other on the shoulder pads sleeves would look amazing. Like I like obviously I wish it was kind of a dark purple jersey and like because purple and orange is a little hard that's a tough two very bright colors, hard to make it look good. So you can't go wrong with black. I think just there's gonna be like maybe it's only one other team that's black, the Gamblers, but
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's hard to tell with these sketch AI things. So I don't really have anything to say besides that until we see the actual jersey. So
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. And I completely agree with that the purple helmet thing. So like I almost feel bad because before they unveiled them, my whole thing was I was gonna say I want a black jersey because I'm thinking
Mm.
my favorite jersey is the UCF jersey and it's black and it
Uh-huh.
has gold because gold
Yeah.
I didn't want to mention other teams, but the
Yeah.
Stallions jersey is mostly gold or bronze or whatever, that
Yeah.
color is. And to me, that looks god awful. So,
I agree. Looks terrible.
yeah. So, if you have primary colors that are hard to make work as a primary color, like an all orange jersey, no. Or
Yeah.
an all like Barney purple jersey, to me, I mean, maybe, but to me, no. So you have to use something else and then use your primary colors as the accent colors. Like
Yeah.
UCF has the gold and the white and all
Yeah.
that, but uh, I'm not that mad at the black. And the
Hmm.
backlash was just horrible. Everyone says they're the worst jerseys in the UFL.
It's
Them and the
just not
Stallions are the
true.
worst jersey. Yeah,
Yeah.
them and the Stallions are the worst jersey in the UFL. I didn't have that visceral of a reaction to it. I was like, these are fine, but I think
That's yeah.
but people expect, oh, it's Florida. It's the Sunshine State. They need to be bright. They need to be vibrant.
Yeah.
Listen, here's my rebuttal to that. It's the Orlando Storm. It's not the
Yeah.
Orlando Sunshine. Like, it's not the Orlando
Yeah.
Oranges. It's a storm. It's supposed to be dark. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be menacing. A storm is like, I get, like, in the way it's portrayed, it's kind of more of a cartoony, whatever, playful thing. A storm
Yeah.
is a very like dark, deadly,
Hmm.
like a hurricane. That is one of the like dark, deadly,
Yeah.
menacing things. So if you think about it that way, black is the perfect fit for the
Hmm.
team's branding. Now,
Yeah.
if we're to make some like sort of middle ground with the fans and the people that hate it so much, I would say like a dark purple. So it's not
Yeah.
like so obnoxious, but you can still
Yeah, for
tell it
sure.
enough that it's purple.
Yeah.
So that was the
Hmm.
take that I had, and I think my most recent video. And if you are going to keep the black, like you said, maybe give a purple helmet, and that's kind of like
Yeah.
again borrowing the UCF inspiration because it's not a full
Hmm.
blackout; it's black jerseys and pants,
Yeah.
and then a gold helmet, so that at
Hmm.
least it gives it some personality, so it doesn't just look like a generic blackout jersey. But if you do keep it black, I hope they like how the Gamblers kind of did, and I don't want to just copy them, but add some accents to the
Yeah.
numbers, add some accents to the sleeves,
Yeah.
and like you said, put some lightning bolts or something
Yeah.
specific to our team on it. So it's not
Hmm.
just
I
like
agree.
the numbers in plain orange with no outline that
Yeah.
looks like you just drew on
Exactly.
it with Sharpie or
Yeah.
like the sleeves.
Yeah.
It's just to just give it a little more like flavor, so it doesn't just look like
Yeah.
black with
I agree.
like I kind of edited this in 5 seconds in a Madden uniform creator and I just like set the default presets or something, like so
Yeah.
again, you could be completely right. This could just be Mike Repole throwing some stuff at the wall and, and seeing what the reaction is. Um,
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to get too deep into it, but for the Stallions fans, I really hope that's the case because Lord have mercy.
Those are terrible. I really like their helmets. I think the helmets are
Yeah,
like on like and those are like 50-50 because they changed them. But I think that helmet is gorgeous. Like I love that
yeah,
red. And but that uniform is terrible. Like
yeah,
I think I honestly think it's a joke. I hope because like Rapoli likes to make fun of Stallions fans. He did it with the
yes.
schedule. Like, he's always doing it. So it would be funny. But like I could see like how all those are like the real jerseys except the Stallions. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, I I think well, I don't think. I hope we get uniforms this week because he did say early February. And they report in like after this week in a week and a half or something. So it's like we gotta know shortly. So I'm hoping it's this week. Hopefully, tomorrow would be great. But
Yeah,
what do I know?
yeah. I mean, that would be pretty inconvenient timing for our podcast, but
Yeah, that.
at the same time, yeah, I hope we get them too because I'm ready to see them and
Mm,
at least give the Stallions like a burgundy jersey and you can keep the gold
yeah,
pants, that's fine, but at least give it like in the
yeah,
helmet too. I mean, that's fine too, but at least give them
yeah,
a burgundy jersey. Don't give them freaking bronze, gold, or whatever it is.
yeah. That's
Jersey.
terrible.
That's
It's
yeah, it's just a bad
awful.
combination.
Yeah.
And also I hope. they put jerseys in the UFL shop. Like that makes it seem like I'm asking for way too much considering the current
Yeah.
state that shop is in, but I really hope they do because like I would like to get, like a Tavante Beckett jersey or a Chris Rowland
Hmm.
jersey or Mike Abraham jersey. I'd love to get
Yeah.
one of these jerseys, support the league, support the player, support the team. Um,
Yeah.
that would be really cool. But also a hat. Like I've been if you've been watching
Yeah.
at
Do they
all,
not have
if
any
you've been
hats on
keeping
the
up,
shop?
none, zero. Not for any
That's
team. And what's so bad is they literally have a DC Defenders hat like on one of the images, um,
hmm
like on one of the categories, and it looks so clean. I'm not even a Defenders fan, but it looks really clean. You click on it, it's like
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are hats, but from what I remember
Yeah.
checking this out months ago, and since they added because they added some more
Mhm.
stuff, but I still didn't see any hats on there. So maybe I
That's
missed it, but
that's
I've been
awful.
pretty adamant about wanting an Orlando Storm hat, and I've seen Anthony Becht in one that is more like this kind of shape, and then one
Yeah.
more that's kind of more curved in. I'm like,
Uh,
y'all are just trolling me at this point. Y'all, you pulled out two different hats. I know you're the head coach. You get dibs, but come on, dog. I'm
hopefully
not
when
asking too
like
much.
uniforms come out. Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. But I went in on New Era.
Mm.
New Era. They
Yeah.
had this hat from last season, I guess. So got that to hold me over until then.
Yeah.
But I guess that all being said, we'll conclude this with one final question. I know we kind of went all over the place with that there, but at the end of the day, do you think the Orlando Storm will fare better than their predecessor, the Orlando Guardians?
I honestly think so. I mean, from signs, you know, from just looking at things, I think we have a better everything. Like I can't think of one thing that the Guardians have done better than like the Orlando Storm. Better coaching, better from what it seems like, better marketing. It looks like hopefully better attendance, better roster, like better colors. Better stadium. It just looks promising. So I am 99% sure this will be a better team in a result than the Guardians.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is there are some things that I'm concerned about with Rapoli and this
Mhm.
whole like shift. There's some things like
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on, but there's also nothing that I just absolutely hated that I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no way this is gonna work. And there are
Yeah.
some things that I genuinely did really like.
Mhm.
So I almost definitely, again, I think your perspective has a little more weight to it than mine does, but I almost definitely think the Orlando Storm will fare better than the Orlando Guardians because no
Mhm.
disrespect, but the bar is extremely low.
That's
You're
also
telling me,
true. Yeah.
yeah, like you can get at least two wins. Like there's no way
Yeah.
this roster doesn't get at least two wins with Anthony Becht as the head coach. Um, and and then the other bars, you just have to last more than one season. Um,
Yeah. Very low.
and I'll throw this in there. I'm not gonna call them out by name, but there is a man, I don't even know if I want to mention it. There's a UCF podcast I listen to,
Uh,
and at one point they mentioned, um, do you think they basically did like they're choosing one thing to happen or the other, and basically it boiled down to, do you think the Orlando Storm will last more than one season? Um,
yeah.
and the one dude chose the other thing to happen was more likely than yeah, so the dude chose that it was more likely that the other thing would happen than the Orlando Storm would last one season, and he was like,
Yeah.
Orlando is the city where spring league teams come to die. Um, and
Yeah.
as you know, as gut punching as that is to hear, you can't
Mhm.
blame them. I mean,
Not at all.
Orlando does have a bad history with these teams.
Mhm.
But that being said, there's just no way I can see the Orlando Storm failing after one season. Like the scenario that would have to
Yeah.
take place for that to happen, like it would be something that's league ending. Like it wouldn't
Yeah.
be storm ending. Again,
Yeah.
unless they didn't win a game all season. Um,
Yeah.
it was just, and the fans don't show up, and like just
Yeah.
absolute disaster scenario that I don't see happening. I genuinely see
I
the
don't
team
either.
at least being mediocre, and I honestly
Mhm.
see them being better than that. But
Me too.
Um, yeah, I mean, I certainly think they'll fare better than the Orlando Guardians. Again, no offense to
Hope
them or
so.
anyone involved with that, but and I think they can, fare even better than that in the last,
Yeah.
2, 3, however many years more than that. So, like I said, the team starts winning games. They start putting successful seasons
Hmm.
over and over, and Rapoli gets settled into this, and
Hmm.
all the other teams kind of get settled in.
Yeah.
Hopefully Birmingham. I hope y'all guys don't go away, but they keep teasing like they are. Um,
Would be funny. Very funny.
I feel so bad. I feel bad for them. Um, the whole thing with them maybe going to Boise, but because the
Yeah.
colors on the field weren't right, that's why they didn't. Um,
Yeah, it's weird. It's like,
yeah, I definitely see the Orlando Storm
mm,
sticking around for at the very least 2 years, um,
yeah,
and keeping this thing going. I mean, the smaller venues, like you said, like just the overall the originality to Orlando. It's not just a
yeah,
borrowed team from another location.
yeah,
Uh, the players and a coach with experience in the UFL. All these things kind of lead me to the belief at the very minimum they'll surpass its predecessor. And people
yeah,
forget the Apollos were a really good team up
hmm,
until the league itself collapsed. And I just don't see this
yeah,
league collapsing the same way that one did.
yeah.
Um,
Hope so.
so I got high hopes. I think
Me
Rapoli
too.
and the rest of the league management can get it done. Um, But with that being said, anything else? Any other thoughts?
Nope, I just hope Orlando shows out. There's been some people are like 50-50 on showing up because, oh, the soccer team, oh, it's going to ruin our field. Oh, we don't like, I just hope people show up. That's all I care about, to be honest. Need a good, we want Orlando Storm to stay. So,
Yeah. Yep. Same here. And like I said, winning cures everything. Even if they're on the fence
yeah,
right now, once they start racking up wins, assuming
yeah,
they do, obviously, and
yeah,
the hype starts getting there, people will show up. They
I
might have
agree.
to show up a little ashamedly after whatever, but they'll
Yeah,
show up and they'll support this team
yeah,
once it gets going. So. Yeah, I mean, with that being said, Max, thank you so much for joining the podcast. I'm happy to have you on and be the first ever guest of the show. I
yeah.
couldn't think of anyone else better to have on. Um, appreciate all the insight you had, and I look forward to doing this again sometime, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I hope you can come on once again when, whenever some big news breaks or whenever. I hope you got to get some players on here. I'd fun and watch. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. So for everyone watching, go ahead, make sure you follow him, UFL Storm Center, on Instagram. Keep up with all of his work on Pro Football Newsroom. So without further ado, thank you for weathering the storm. Go Storm.
Sir John.